EGF is a relatively small signaling molecule, but its functionality exceeds its relative size. Let's discover how the human epidermal growth factor makes its way through its pathway to activate a growth response within the cell. Here we have the cell membrane. Here we have our transmembrane receptor. In this case, it is our EGFR, or epidermal growth factor receptor. Here is our epidermal growth factor, our ligand. First, our ligand attaches to the epidermal growth factor receptor. Once it is bound with the receptor, which is a tyrosine kinase receptor, the kinase enzyme triggers phosphorylation within the cell. Once the receptor is phosphorylated, it will bring upon another protein. The first type of interaction will form a protein called GRB2. Once GRB2 has interacted with the receptor, it will activate another protein called SOS. It is in this stage where we first see the cell signaling pathways begin to activate. Once SOS is activated, it will activate another protein called RAS. This step is very important since the modification of RAS can cause cancer. Any problem with RAS could lead to massive and uncontrolled cell growth. RAS bounds with a GDP since it is a G protein. Once the RAS is activated by the SOS, GTP comes in and GDP comes out. So now RAS is left to bind with GTP instead of GDP. Once the RAS is bound to GTP, it becomes active. This activation activates another protein called RAF. Once the RAF is activated, another protein called MEK is activated. The MEK will finally activate another protein called MAP kinase. Remember, all of these proteins have the ability to phosphorylate and activate many other proteins. However, the activation of MAPK is incredibly important because once the MAPK is activated, all of these molecules and activation processes going on the cytoplasm will finally trigger this signal and transfer the signal to some other molecules called Krebs. These types of molecules are called transcription factors. Once the transcription factors are activated, they are now capable of going inside the nucleus and activate the gene responsible for creating the cell response. From here, the cell will receive the signal of the cell proliferation, cell growth, and cell division. Of course, this is a simplified version of EGF's cell signaling pathway, but we can still observe all the complexities of cell proliferation via the human epidermal growth factor.